We're back at the strutmasters.com 199 here at Bowman Gray Stadium. We'll get you up to speed in a minute, but after a caution, they're ready to go green and race again with L.W. Miller and Burt Myers up front.
Burt gives him the outside again. LW's trying, but he surrenders back to the inside, gets back in to second place, and allows room for John Smith to get in there and Jason Myers. So, you know, these four guys racing pretty hard right now, but Burt's starting to pull away again. And
we're keeping an eye on Jason Myers and L.W. Miller, and you're definitely keeping both eyes on them because they've been banging a lot here tonight. Well, you've seen that chrome horn put to use. You know, and you're right, Eric. The 36 car, it really wasn't as courteous as it should have been, and I don't blame him. He really cut down on Jason a lot, but, you know, give Jason credit. The guy says, hey, we still got a lot of laps left, but I didn't forget what you done to me there, LW, and I got it in my memory bank. They start to spread things out a little bit here. The champion back in 2007, L.W. Miller, won by 25 points that year over Tim Brown, looking for his 11th career victory. Frank Fleming's been running a good race tonight. He's sitting in 6th position. And also Josh Nichols in the 2 car. These guys have spun out earlier in the race, and they're back up to 6th and 7th and racing pretty hard. There you see Fleming and Nichols, that battle there. Frank, at age 51, said he'd love to win again. He's won over 50 times total in his career here at Bowman Gray Stadium, racing all sorts of competition. But it's tough on the big tour, the Whelen Southern Modified Tour, to find that checkered flag. And he said, well, he's a little bit older than some of these young guys out here, but you see he's moved up to 6th position right now. Frank Fleming owns a body shop and a small cattle farm. And his nephew Luke in the field today, who won the race last year in his first ever start in this series. What we're starting to see now is, this is getting interesting, Eric. We're seeing John Smith in the 25 car and the 4 of Jason Myers starting to slip back, and John's saying, hey, I need to get on here with this, and we're starting to see a lot of bumper tag there between the 25 and the 4 car, 3rd and 4th. John Smith coming off a victory at Caraway in the Firecracker 150. He started 13th. Came all the way back to win his first victory. He likes that horn, baby, because he's up pushing. He's leaning on it right now, isn't he? He's pushing on him. I'm telling you, this is good racing fans. He's saying, hey, don't get caught sleeping here, buddy. Here I come. A little chrome horn there. This is what I love about short track racing. You know, the anticipation that what to expect going into the corner. You know, pushing the issue, making the guy, hey, you've got to start driving my race. And that's what you're seeing. These guys know that 75 laps to go. You're going to start seeing a lot more aggressiveness starting to show, and we're seeing that here now. See, Tim Brown is back out and running. Ralph talked to him a short while ago, and he was out of the car while they were working on it, but he's out there trying to clip off some laps here. And a little separation up at the front right now is Burt Myers, as you take a look at the 0-2 of Tim Brown. Again, usually in that number 83, but in the 0-2 here at Bowman Gray tonight. A long night. This race right here between Jason Myers and John Smith, this is getting interesting, fans, because I think he wants to be in 3rd spot on the restart, is what John Smith's trying to do. I think he's trying everything under his power, but you got to give Jason Myers a lot of credit. He is not surrendering it, and it's just really good short track racing going on right now. I think every time they've come out of 4, there's been a tap, hasn't there? Every single time. I wonder if you can invite him for lunch tomorrow. You know, I would have somebody test that food first before tasting it. Well, no contact that time as they run out of turn 2. Well, we're also seeing Burt right now running about the same pace as he's been running the last about 40 laps. So it's about where it needs to be. And we heard LW, he's a little tight. And we heard that under caution, him say to his crew chief, my car's a little tight, I can't roll the center. But he's not surrendering. He keeps the pressure on Burt Myers. So really good racing right now with about 60 laps to go. Time ticking away here quickly. Burt Myers looking for his 3rd victory on this tour here at this track. One in August of 05 and in August of 07. 3 top 5s total. It's his race right now with L.W. Miller well behind. Jason Myers behind Miller, and now losing a little touch is John Smith as he closes the gap as they get into the exit of turn 4. So we'll see if this field comes together a little bit more with 60 laps to go here at Bowman Gray. It continues to be Burt Myers out in front here at historic Bowman Gray Stadium, Winston-Salem, North Carolina. The Strutmasters.com 199 here in the Whelen Southern Modified Tour. And for more on our race leader, back to Ralph.
You know, Burt Myers, who's up front leading this thing, said over the radio just before that lost caution, he said, you know, the longer this thing goes green, the better this race car gets. We've already clicked off some 30 laps, I believe, since that last caution. So he is only going to get stronger as his race progresses. Jimmy, that's bad news for Miller and the rest of the guys chasing.
You bring a great point up. You know, the longer a race runs and the more confidence the driver gets behind the wheel, that means it's very dangerous for second on back. You're going to have a hard time trying to pass. But I'm telling you what, Eric, I'm loving this race between John Smith and Jason Myers. I mean, look at this. Fans, I'm telling you, we're fixing to see a little fireworks.
All right, now this has consistently been the way it's gone around the track here the last, what do you want to say, 20, 25 laps or so between these two. Now, I got a question for you. How does John Smith push the envelope a little bit more to get what he wants, which is third place?
I don't believe he's pushing him in the right position. He's hitting him in a position where he can't really get the guy moved out of the racetrack, up the racetrack. And his frustration's starting to show. And John's really starting to show his frustration, and he needs to just say, you know what, I'm going to give you one shot here, and I'm going to go by you. He's definitely holding up the field. I'm sorry, he's holding up John, and he needs to give Jason a shot here. He's been giving him to him, but he needs to make one count, move him up, and pass him. And he just keeps giving him left taps.
I'll give L.W. Miller credit. He's closed the gap a little bit on Burt Myers. That's a much closer gap between 1 and 2 than we've seen in a little while.
And this is what you're talking about. You're seeing a big distance here between the second place car of LW and the third place car of Jason Myers. And this is why John is really saying, hey, I need some help here. And he's not giving up, fans. He's going to keep on pounding me.
John Smith again, fastest in practice here yesterday and again today. But he's being held up right now by Jason Myers, whose brother Burt leads this race, closing in on 40 laps to go. L.W. Miller has been the bridesmaid for the last 3 races here on this tour, and he's running in second place again right now, trying to track down Burt Myers.
And the way it's going to be tonight, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves a little bit, but, you know, he could overtake tonight with the second place finish. I don't like to do that because you're jinxing drivers, but the trouble that Savali had, and you know, Miller was only trailing by about 24 points. So the thing is that it could be a change.
It was bad luck for Zach Brewer. He won the pole and in the redraw ended up 7th, but he's hanging in there tonight, Ralph.
Well, and as Jimmy knows, Eric, you can never give up when it comes to short track racing. Here's a driver who's gotten the lucky dog twice tonight, and he's battled back. And to make matters even worse, Jimmy, he's doing it all with no brakes here tonight. He's having to pump the daylights out of the brakes to get that thing low down to get through the corners. And this is a racetrack you've got to have brakes. And guess what? He's running in 7th.
And you know what's the tenacity of a race car driver? Here's a guy, he still has a little brake, but you know, he wants to do well. And for him to get 2 lucky dogs, being 7th, and running his pace, he actually is fast enough. He's actually closing in on the 6th place of Frank Fleming.
There's a hard hit there from the 25. A little bit harder than through 4. John Smith onto Jason Myers. Let's see if they dial it up a little bit right now, because Myers has done all he can to keep Smith behind him.
What's happened here, Eric, fans, you have to understand this. Jason Myers has got the 25 where he wants it. He says, you know what, you're driving my race. You're bumping me and I don't mind it. And what you've done is you're starting to see his car starting to slip a little bit. John has got his car not in the shape he needs to have it. And I believe he's running out of time. He's running out of patience. And he's probably you know, put himself in a situation where if he would have been a little bit more aggressive about 40, 34 laps ago when he caught him, because you see he can't catch the 36. He's actually slowing the pace down to where first and second place Myers and LW is actually pulling away from him. And I mean, he's pushing on him. I mean, let's face it, fans, I think it's pretty cool right now. He's trying the outside. Oh, this is awesome racing. Frustration going to show here shortly.
Nothing right there looking on the outside, so now he'll work back on the inside. Another hard bump. But that's part of racing in this series.
It is, and I tell you, the fans are watching it, just like us fans at home are watching it here. Now the fans are starting to you're noticing here, they're starting to shake their hands that, come on, let's get on with this. Because now you see what we've got. We've got Andy Slight and Frank Fleming closed in on these guys. So this is pretty interesting. This is big with 25, well, about 28 laps to go.
A tight group of 4 right there, but meanwhile, 1 and 2 pulling away a bit with Burt Myers and LW Miller. We'll take you to the checkered flag next.